What's up, sons of Montezuma? Well, wherever there's been a fire, there has always been smoke. And right now, all the signals point towards Colorado leaving the Pac-12 for the Big 12. Does this make San Diego State the most valuable that they've ever been? Or is this cause for us to freak out? Either way, we're kind of freaking out.
Hold on just a second, man. My boy's getting the speaker. Because I want to say, coming to you live from the penthouse suite of the Orlando in Las Vegas.
Dude, I think that I think that Mr. T-Chain is screwing up your
James, protecting our borders and Las Vegas and the Strip. He's protecting all of USA. He's Team America himself. Durka.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain.
Oh, God.
There you go. Let's see if I can hear you guys a little better now.
Whose idea was this?
There you go. You sound perfect.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect. Crystal clear.
I figured it out now. I cut the speaker out of the system completely, but I guess you guys were on mute.
Yeah. We were on mute, Dan.
You guys were on mute, yeah.
All right, guys. It's a little bit of. Is this an emergency podcast or is this just like a cautious? Grab your shit, hold on to your shit tight because things may get even weirder than they already have in this whole expansion, college football expansion talk. Guys, we were waiting for a Pac-12 invite. Now we're seeing Colorado might be bolting from the Pac-10 and leaving towards the Big 12. I mean, it seems like it's pretty much a done deal already from all the reports and tweets and everything you see out there. I mean, these are legitimate sources. These aren't like the 12 anon sources that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
These are actual
Done
sources.
deal.
Hey, dude, if you keep saying it's gonna happen every time there's a Colorado Board of Regents meeting, eventually you're gonna be right. The clock is a broken clock is right once a day, dude.
So are you saying that they manifested this thing to happening because they just kept putting it out there, pounding the pavement?
No, I think it was a calamity of circumstances, and it happened to align with reality finally. But I mean,
reality.
all these guys gloating about it now. Like, where were they the last 10 Colorado Board of Regents meetings that they got all excited about, and nothing happened?
All right, forget about this. Who cares about this? Let's talk about what it actually means. Like, for me, the Big 12 is totally outmaneuvered the Pac-12, and really, it just started with renegotiating their TV rights right before that's a brilliant move, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was brilliant. He was playing chess while the Pac-12 was playing checkers. It was smart, savvy. Yormic has such a confidence about him to where there's something that he has planned, and you always wonder what it is. And I mean, to me, it's not like they're losing a powerhouse Oregon, Washington, or someone like that. But Colorado's always been a really cool program. Cool city, cool program, cool history. The only thing
but it's not cool. It's not cool. And it hasn't been cool for a decade.
They were cool once in their history when they had Gary Barnett recruiting strippers and stuff, using strippers to recruit kids and taking kids with criminal records and stuff. Like, let's not pretend.
No, they had more. They had their success was earlier than that. Cordell Stewart wasn't Gary Barnett years.
He was part of that same program, though, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he was part of the program, but dude, Rashawn Salaam wasn't Gary Barnett. That was after. Gary Barnett was after that.
Yes, but it started before that, though. Gary Barnett replaced God damn it, his name is skipping my mind right now. But Gary Barnett was one of his guys.
No, he wasn't. Gary Barnett was at Northwestern.
No, but he was one of his guys, dude. He was like part of the tree or whatever.
Dude, how much have you been drinking today?
Gary Barnett talk, yes.
Quite a bit. If you're asking me to go through the history of the Colorado program and be factual, now is not the right time.
Why bring it up?
I bring it up for this simple reason is that Colorado was cool when they were in the Big 12. They were not the moment they stopped being cool is when they joined the Pac-12. They were
they're still a top 100 university, a really nice campus, great, a great college town. That's like a school that you kind of want to be aligned with.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. And we kind of talked about it in our private text earlier. Like, would I rather Colorado be in the conference? Yes. But to me, I'm not like Dan, where I'm not brokenhearted that they wouldn't be in the conference with us. To me, it's not that big of a deal. But the thing that has me worried a little bit is it's not so much losing Colorado. If it's just Colorado leaving, no big deal. I don't really care that much.
Right.
The only thing that has me concerned is it could be like a domino thing. And then we can talk about losing the Arizona schools. To me, the reason I want to be in the Pac-12 is the California schools and the Arizona schools mostly. Because those are the schools we most align with culturally, academically, athletically. Those are the schools that are peer institutions more than anything. And losing those schools, and you can even throw in Utah with that group as well. Losing those schools would be a big deal. So if we lose any of those schools as part of this process, then I'm really kind of like, oh man, I don't know. I'd reconsider my position on the Pac-12 over the Big 12 thing.
Well, let me say this. Another concern for me is just perception, right? Like when schools are leaving think of the other ones that have left. When you think of Maryland going to the Big 10, they're always going to the better conference, right? So what, is the Big 12 considered the better conference now? You never move to a worse conference. That's the perception,
That's a good point, yeah.
Like it looks like, the Pac-12 is a lot less stable. They have a lot less going from a perception standpoint, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
But it's a bad look for the Pac-12. I saw some tweets today that they were shocked because they had a meeting today and Colorado was part of it. They didn't give no hints. Dude, they're always shocked. They're always confused.
I think you hit it right there. That's kind of the argument, right? Is the perception. It's the perception and the reality. And throughout this whole process, everybody's scrambling around to decipher, okay, well, which is which? Which is hype? Which is just talk? And what's the actual reality of the situation? We all know the Pac-12 has the elite universities academically. They have all the research dollars. They have all these different things in reality terms going for themselves. And of course, that's where you want to be because that bottom line, that dollar, that educational aspect that you aspire to. But the Big 12 has that. They have that perception. They got that coolness factor. They got that passion in their sports. That was something that we talked about. Like, okay, well, either one we're good with, right? Because if you're in the Pac-12, you have that institutional, recognition. You're shooting for those academic goals. But if you're in the Big 12, excuse me, man, the fans are just so much more passionate. The programs are more passionate. The Pac-12, I said it a couple episodes ago, the stage was set. It was ready. It was, excuse the pun, it was prime time. The time was perfect to add on San Diego State and SMU.
That's where they messed up.
They messed up. They missed it. They missed the wave. You got to ride that wave.
I think we all agree on that.
Someone said something great. Like when this happened to the Big 12 right away, we got 4 schools in there, like they wanted to have a stable conference. They wanted perception of a stable conference. And you know what? Having 2 extra schools just in case another school gets picked off helps your conference be stable. They went about, they should have, SDSU should have been in there 6 months ago. I mean, it really should have. They're stubborn with the TV deal. No other conference says that. Like when they got BYU, Cincinnati, all them, they didn't say, hey, we're gonna wait till we renegotiate our deal before we could add you. Nope. They added them.
Yeah. I think we all can agree on that. I think everybody who's not so much a supporter of the Pac-12, but a supporter of San Diego State and a possible supporter of the Pac-12 agrees like that. The only people saying no were these elitists and like these people from the outside looking in saying, oh, they're adding San Diego State. Who's that? Like people they don't know from the East Coast. They don't know the quality of the program they're adding if they add San Diego State. So like I think we can all agree on that confidently, and it's not a. I think that's like a fair point, and it's like a spot on point.
Real quick, here's another thing too, because obviously the Pac-12 reassured San Diego State, hey, you're in once we get this done, right? That's the hints that the president was saying. That's the hints that the AD was saying. So if you're going to go that far to make us feel that comfortable, just add the damn school. Like, dude, like it's
Make it
dumb.
official.
Just add the school.
Make it official.
I mean, dude.
Yeah. And, that goes back to, this, it's the same leadership that kept Larry Scott on, even when he was running the conference network situation into the ground. It's just bad leadership. Luckily, most of those leaders are gone. So hopefully things start changing now. But hopefully it's not too little too late.
And they also lost the battle of, I guess, like public relations between the two conferences, right? They just didn't say anything. All these presidents are seeing the same shit we are. They don't trust their other school either. They don't know if Colorado's talking to them. It's just they're seeing the same stuff we are. So it's like, dude, go out, speak with some confidence, And if you don't get the best deal because you didn't wait, who cares? Because that's what the Big 12 did. They were willing to sacrifice millions to get for stability, and look what it's doing for them now.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things that we talked about, this was last year, right, when all the rumblings were happening. I think that USC UCLA departure was fresh. The Texas and Oklahoma departure was fresh. One of the things you said, Dan, was we got to be like that barking dog. We got to be like that dog that just won't shut up. Add us. We belong. And, I feel like Aztec Nation, we did it to a certain point, but we didn't necessarily have to do it at a certain point. Not when football was performing in 2021, and then obviously basketball, you make it to the national championship game. You kind of let your play do the talking for you, and every credential stacks up for San Diego State to be in a power conference league for sure. But when USC and UCLA left, you would have thought for a California State university, right there eliminates any kind of blockage you had in joining the Pac-12. Because for the longest time, all we heard with USC, UCLA, they don't want to recruit against a San Diego State, a sleeping giant. We don't want them to get any bigger. Keep them nice and down there in the southern part of the state. Well, now they're gone. I don't really believe that Stanford and Cal, I don't want to believe that they are being any kind of obstructionist towards, making this thing happen and adding in the first CSU, school into the Pac-12. And I don't think so at all. I think this is coming from, obviously the other schools like a Colorado, like, perhaps others that want to get out. This could be a landmark decision for the state of California. This could be a landmark move for the state of California. You would think this would have been done already.
That's kind of where I disagree with you a little bit.
Okay.
From what all rumors we've heard, there was two institutions that voted against adding San Diego State, Stanford and Oregon, is what we've heard. So Stanford does not want to be academically associated with a California State institution.
Wow.
Because they hold them, so they're like the Ivy of the West, that thing. And then Oregon obviously doesn't want to they don't want to lose their pipeline to San Diego, Southern California. They don't want to have to recruit against us on an even playing field. So I think I kind of differ from you in that respect, because I think Berkeley initially probably might have felt the same, but once USC and UCLA left, they felt kind of on an island. And so I think they kind of feel comfortable adding San Diego State now because of the situation they're in currently. Stanford, on the other hand, they're a private institution and they hold themselves in that high regard. They don't want to be associated with a California State institution because of all the, institutional, institutional like reins that have been placed on the CSUs by the California educational system. So to them, they're like look down on the California State schools. So I think Stanford is probably one of the biggest reasons that San Diego State is not in the conference already. And so that's why hopefully with their president getting the boot for the academic fraud situation they're going through, hopefully the new president will come in and he'll be more receptive to adding San Diego State quickly.
Dude, I heard word on the street, dude, that the reason Colorado left is because they were pissed that a couple schools were against San Diego State, dude. They said, hell no, I can't be a part of this conference anymore. We're not going to let Powerhouse San Diego State in, who brings the whole Southern California. We're out.
We know you love Colorado, bro, but come on, stop.
At this point right now, man, and I think James won't admit it, dude, but let's just go to the Big 12 if we have an opportunity. Let's just go there, stable conference. Like, I know the travel kind of sucks, but they added another Western school, I guess. Maybe, like, dude, if they could add San Diego State, I mean,
I have no illusions of anything that's going to happen. I mean, at this point, San Diego State, we know what we bring to the table, but getting to have all these other conferences recognize that and to see it as quality enough to add on. I would think if the Big 12 wants to send a death nail to the Pac, they would make that move and extend the invitation. Is that really in their scope? I don't know.
I only cling to it. I only think it's still within their scope because of Brett Yormax saying he wants to be in the Pacific time zone. That's the only reason, And if they can't get the Arizona schools, which I think even the Arizona school or Arizona, I think we'd be a better ad for them than Arizona. Arizona State's different. That's a huge at Tempe, or Phoenix. That's huge, but
But where do these Arizona schools get a large portion of their students from? I mean, they're pulling from Southern California. It's just a fact. So I don't really want to spill too much into the whole political scene of it because we know there's a lot of elements to that, whether, a California school would actually join the Big 12, but you kind of do have to face it. San Diego State is that unique institution. We're nestled down here in San Diego, which to me is one of the few institutions in California that could actually work in either conference. I think Fresno State is also along those lines. Got to give them their respect.
Honestly, I have it to where I want San Diego State to kick the teeth in of the Pac-12. That's what I want them to do. Honestly, they've drug us along. They could have easily invited us at any time. They didn't. Now look at them. They have 9 schools.
Well, I mean, is it official? Is it official with Colorado? Is it officially official?
It's everything but official, dude. It's okay. All over but the crying, pretty much.
Okay. So, I mean, that does bring up interesting conversation, though, because when it comes to the academics and the politics, California is supposed to be this all-encompassing state, this okay, quote unquote, liberal state where we introduce, everyone has that opportunity. I mean, what are we looking at here, guys? I mean, let's be real. This isn't about sports. This isn't about a TV media deal. There's money coming in through the state, left and right. This is one of the largest economies in the whole country, in the whole
world.
In the world. This is one of the largest economies in the world. So, I mean, what are we really looking at here, guys? I mean, this shouldn't be this tough of a decision to elevate a San Diego State, which represents a huge city in the nation. So I'm right with you there, Dan. I mean, if the opportunity is there in the Big 12, San Diego is uniquely positioned and able to connect. We've been in, games with a few of those teams that are now in there, whether it's, Colorado territory, whether it's BYU territory, whether it's TCU territory. They were in the Mountain West for a time. So there is a similarity there.
The problem is I think that, I don't want to say this because it makes it think, you wonder if President De La Torre would ever go to a Big 12. A watered down Pac-12 to be with a Cal school. You know where she comes from.
Right.
And I don't want to say that she would do something to hurt her just for her own gain or her own. But man,
I don't see it at that. I don't see it as that. I just see it as like an institutional connection, right? And that's what it is. It's not personal. It's an institutional connection that they want to, join themselves with a Cal Berkeley, with a Stanford, and rightfully so. If that's there, you got to go for it.
Here's the thing I would say. Here's the thing I would say to kind of counteract Dan's point. Like even now, after today's possible for sure news with Colorado leaving,
yeah,
I would still rather, if he said, we should join the Big 12, kick the teeth in the Pac-12, I would still rather go to the Pac. If they both offered us tomorrow, I would still rather go to the Pac-12.
Sure.
But if the Big 12 offers tomorrow, yes, a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. But if they both offered tomorrow, I would still rather go to the Pac-12 right now, even without Colorado.
Okay, here's why I wouldn't. Who the hell knows what's going to ever happen with Stanford and Cal? They could eventually. Stanford doesn't even partake in NIL. Who knows what they're going to be on as far as sports goes in 5-10 years with the changing landscape, right? And then so what? We lost. The Pac-12 lost 3 of their top, we'll say, half schools in the conference. Even their academics isn't what it used to be. I mean, it's really top heavy. It's Cal and Stanford, and then everybody else. And Washington.
The Big 12 lost 3 of their top schools in the last 10 years.
And they still picked a school from the Pac-12.
Yeah, but they took the bottom feeder of the Pac-12.
They took a school that has a market. There's a reason why the Pac-12 wanted them.
They've got a market, but
the Pac-12 wanted them. The Pac-12, they came to the Pac-12.
Yes, and they took them from the Pac-12 when Colorado was arguably in a higher position in the grand scheme of college athletics. Colorado was in a higher position when they joined the Pac-12.
What does that say, though? What does that tell you?
Imagine.
They were in a higher position before they got to the Pac-12. Now, where did that leave them, though? You got to make things better when you join somewhere. You don't make it worse.
It made Colorado. We're talking about their academics. How they're so much better.
Yeah.
Why are they so much better?
Yeah.
The academics were not up there when they joined the
Colorado's always been a decent school.
But they aren't what they are now. They weren't.
They're 97 now. They're not like, it's not like it's crazy anyways. But
dude, I think they were like in San Diego State territory before. We'll have to go look it up to verify. But I think they were like in the high 100s, like the 170s or something like that.
Okay. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here though, because one thing we always hear from the leadership is that you're right. Sports is the front porch.
You can't just admit he was wrong.
Sports is the front porch. Sports is what it brings in the attention. It brings in those opportunities. It creates those opportunities for educational purposes, right? But sports is that front porch. Otherwise, you don't know it to the common guy. So if whatever you got to do, no move is permanent in this college football landscape anymore. I mean, you could be in one conference this year, and then 5 years from now, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, Colorado was only there for what, a little over 10 years. So, it's a different age. It's a different time. It's got to be handled in a business. I appreciate that, Dan. You showing me myself. I'm looking pretty fresh. It's got to be handled in a business-like manner, right? So, if Big 12, I hear what you're saying, James. If they both offer, I'm with you. I would still pick the Pac-12.
No, you wouldn't.
But
not you, Mateo. I know
if
James.
They both, if they both,
because here's the thing, Matt.
But if the Big 12 offered first, you gotta go. You have to go, and we would be wise to go. We would be wise.
Here's the thing. Couple reasons is. SDSU going to the Big 12 hurts the Pac-12. SDSU staying with the Pac-12 doesn't do shit to the Big 12, Right. And then so Colorado leaves, right? And then if they offer us, you go because you don't know what the other schools are going to do. You don't know what fucking Arizona's are going to do. Like, you got to go. No matter what, there's going to be a Big 12 conference. That's what I know. And you can't say the same for the Pac-12.
You're falling off the screen, Dan. You're falling off the screen, dude. We're talking about
he's falling off.
we're talking about a grant of rights deal, right? There's no grant of rights deal in place yet in the Pac-12. Am I correct?
No, but if San Diego State joins, they're going to have a TV contract. And if you have a TV contract, there's a grant of rights that goes with that TV contract. So if San Diego State goes, however long the TV contract is, there's going to be a grant of rights for that. It's not like they're going to go and 2 teams are going to leave next year. That's not going to happen.
What would the Pac-12 be? The PAC, just call it the PAC, whatever number it is. What would it be with a San Diego State in it? Okay, that may put us up 10, but I mean, what is the quality going to be like? An Oregon and a Washington, do they realistically have any kind of hopes in we all saw the duck and Ohio State's Buckeye mascot. What was his name? Brutus or something like that? Something like that.
Yeah,
we all saw them, high and tight up there in the bit.
That had nothing to do with realignment, dude. That has to do with the game they're gonna play there, dude.
I get it, but you got to read between the lines a little bit. You got to read.
The Big Ten is not gonna add Oregon, dude. There's no fucking way.
Okay.
No fucking way.
Okay.
But James was just saying weeks and months ago that no one from the Pac-12 is going to the Big 12.
I didn't say no one.
Yes, you did, dude.
I said it's unlikely. I said definitely Oregon. I mean, not Oregon. Excuse me. I said Oregon and Washington were not going to the Big Ten, and they
you said nobody was
sure.
going there.
No, Colorado. There was always a possibility, but I didn't think it was likely.
See, that's why we can't take you seriously.
Okay.
A lot of people.
All right, Stanford and Cal are not going to be playing sports in 5 years. Get the fuck out of here.
They're going to be playing sports they're going to be playing sports in the Big West or the WCC because they don't want to be aligned with San Diego State. Honestly, they lost USC, UCLA. They would rather drop their sports and go independent or go.
That's being hyperbolic, dude. That's being hyperbolic.
Dude, they've already talked about
it. Who's already talked about it? Got some random guy on Twitter? Who already talked about it?
No, you haven't seen how in debt UC Berkeley is in their football program?
Yeah, that's because they invested a shit ton of money in their infrastructure.
Yeah, imagine investing all that money and then having San Diego State to be aligned with. That's not what they're looking for. They don't want to play in the Mountain West, dude. It's like they want to play in a prime conference.
Adding San Diego State makes them the Mountain West?
Dude. I mean, kind of.
No way. Hey, no way.
Dude,
listen.
Dude, they lost USC and UCLA.
Come on, man.
They lost USC and UCLA. Those are the kingpins. Let's be real.
Oh, absolutely. But they've already been lost. So
already been lost. Is that English?
Yeah, they've already been lost. Yeah, they've already been lost. So adding San Diego State doesn't hurt them anymore.
Of course it does. Adding a state school?
How does that hurt them?
Adding a state school? They won't even vote us in. What are you talking about?
Stanford is the one who wouldn't. Not
exactly.
Berkeley. Berkeley's on board now. They've realized, or I guess the chancellor probably whipped them into shape and said, "Hey, you're adding San Diego State."
We don't really know who those 2 schools really were. But
from what I heard, I've seen pretty good sources that say Oregon and Stanford. So.
Well, I heard Stanford. They had their AD a few months ago at an event. Or like, do we really need San Diego State? Basically, is what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, guys, this could be a landmark decision to bring in a CSU. It would be the best thing for the state of California, for students, student athletes, all up and down the state. It would be the best thing. And if that were true, if that's the mentality. Well, do we even really need to bring in a San Diego State?
Real quick.
It's time to wise up and make a better decision because these guys don't have San Diego State's best interest in mind.
Hey, real quick, dude. Now, here's where I think it's interesting. San Diego State has never had more leverage over the Pac-12 ever. If you better get a 100% share from the very beginning.
Yeah.
If you can't pull off a 100% share right now,
exactly.
Hey, maybe Adela was on point when she said we look forward to having that full share. She said that a couple months ago, having that full equal share in the Pac-12. So maybe things are. I mean,
this is where you gotta out negotiate the Pac-12 now. They look so stupid. Like.
San Diego State has never been more valuable to the Pac-12 than they are right now. So this is your time. Like, hey, Add us now.
Especially considering the exit fees that they're going to end up having.
You're gonna pay the difference in the exit fees, and we're gonna come on as a full member, or we're gonna wait and see what happens.
The ball's in their court, man. They got to make something happen because the more time that goes on, the more uncertainty there is. I still believe the Pac-12. I still believe in the Pac-12. I still think that there can be a solid, unified conference. I mean, Colorado wasn't part of the Pac-12 for many decades. They've only been there for a little over 10 years. So that departure, and when it comes down to it, it's not the end of the world, guys.
Matt,
But
they've lost 3 schools in a year.
I understand that. But the stage is still set. Is the Pac-12 going to make the move, add San Diego State, add a SMU? Unfortunate.
Here, one other thing, okay, real quick. No, who really might be screwed in this is fucking SMU. That's who. If they just take San Diego State as the 10th, and where the hell is SMU going to go? Like that's who they get screwed in all this.
Well, I think then now the Pac-12, they're in a desperate mode where they need to add 3 now because, it's not just getting leveled up to 10. You just lost Colorado. You got to make things back to the Pac-12 again. So who will be that third one?
That's the thing. If the Pac-12 is smart, tomorrow they would add San Diego State, SMU, and like Tulane.
Not a Colorado State? No.
Colorado State, as much as they want to, they don't have that Denver market, dude. Come on. They've got like a piece of it, but I wouldn't say they bring that Denver market. Whereas Tulane, they have a piece of that Louisiana market, that New Orleans market. Then it gives you like more recruiting grounds getting into the South a little bit. And it's kind of a traveling partner for SMU a little bit. So to me, Tulane is a smarter ad than Colorado State. But I mean,
I would say 10 schools be a regional conference. Divide that playoff money into 10 schools instead of 13.
Yeah, there's an argument for that. That's a good argument. Like split that TV money up between 10 schools, split that playoff money between 10 schools.
And then you have a better chance still of making the
But the problem is like they're in the situation they are now. Like let's say something happens and Oregon and Washington get that invite to the Big Ten. You're back to
once that happens, it's gonna be all hell breaks loose, and they're gonna the Pac-12 will be called the Pac-12, but it's gonna be a mishmash of.
Yeah, to me, I'm not so worried about that because I think when the Big Ten looks to expand again, they're looking at the ACC. They're not going to look out west. I think they're done out. They got the 2 jewels of the West as far as they're concerned, and I think they're going to go dip into the Southeast. So to me, I'm not so worried about losing Oregon and Washington because I don't think that Oregon and Washington can deliver them something like the Southeast schools from the ACC can deliver them.
I agree.
They still got a hard on for Notre Dame, but either way, guys, I think you're right. We may be looking at ourselves in an inflated way. I still think San Diego State is always going to have more value than a Colorado. So if Colorado's gone, okay, like you say, Dan, add San Diego State in. You're back at 10. You bring in that recruiting ground. You bring in that media market. You're good. You don't have to split the pie up more than 10 ways as far as TV revenues. We're in a perfect leverage position, San Diego State is, to get that equal share. Just slide us right in where Colorado was. See you. Goodbye. Let's move forward. Keep it a regional conference. I'm down for that, guys. Listen, we got to wrap it up, guys. This is a long edit for me, so we got to wrap it up, man. But thank you guys for joining. Dirtball Dan from San Diego, California. K5 James from Las Vegas, Nevada. Go have some fun, man. What are you getting yourself into? Why are you in Vegas, man?
Oh, bro, I'm here for the law enforcement Olympics. The police Olympics. So,
awesome.
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you a contestant?
What was that?
You a contestant?
Of course I am, bro.
Well, have yourself a good time, guys. Hey, until next time, we got to do this again. have a little bit more fun. Anything we say here on the Sons of Montezuma podcast is just, it's all for fun. We're just having a great time. You know, we're stressing out a little bit, of course, but you know, it's all good and fun. We love college sports. We love all the universities, and especially San Diego State. So we trust our leadership. Whatever they're gonna do is gonna be the right move. Either way, we're rolling with our school, with our city, with our county, and all that.
But still, screw BYU.
I would love to play them and continue to beat them. All right, let's do it. Thank you, guys. Make sure you're checking out that latest Jalen Maiden episode. It was an incredible interview. I couldn't speak more highly about Jalen Maiden and his family. And, you know, we got a football season coming up. We're really excited for it. Make sure you are in the Sons of Montezuma shop. Support the young man and support many future NIL student athletes we have coming down the way. All right, guys, sonsofmontezuma.com, K5 James, Dirtball Dan, I'm Mateo San Diego. Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
Woo!
All
Okay,
right, guys.
that's a lot of editing, man. That's a lot of editing.
You could get out the part or saying that Stanford and Berkeley were intensely.